Okay, I've got some more here. So the question was posed to me. Um, Sometimes it seems like there's a bit of a role play going on, but I was asked by Spirit how I would speak about if someone were to say, um, in speaking about perfection and claiming perfection for us. So I say we are perfect, right? And they said, well, what would you say to someone who shows you a murderer? And how would you respond to that? Here is this murderer who has committed these acts. Would you claim the murderer in perfection? And I said I would. And they said, well, how? How can you justify claiming the murderer in perfection? Right? And so in this communication, wasn't necessarily in spoken word, but was in images and information, basically going back and forth, not just in like spoken word. And so in this dialogue that was occurring between Spirit and me, that I was then inspired to take down this message. Okay. So it's obvious to me that they wanted to speak about this concept, how they want to expand upon the words when they say, we are perfect. We know you in your perfection. You are perfect. You are perfect. You were created perfectly in the image and likeness of God. Okay. So they want to speak more about this and what that is. And this message, they really are asking that it be delivered to those who fear what it means when they say we are perfect. Because as a human, the fear is there that if we claim the murderer in perfection, we're saying it's good or it's okay to commit these acts against others. And that's not what they're saying. Okay, that's not what they're saying. So I'm going to give you the message as it was given to me. And if I'm inspired to, I will address certain aspects of that. Okay. So the message that they wanted me to convey was this: we do not condone nor encourage acts of harm by saying you are perfect. We say you are perfect because that is the truth. It is the reality that you deny every time you attack another, every time you are less than truthful, every time you claim yourself in smallness, in lack, in limitation. The truth of you is power beyond your understanding. Your power has been kept from you through your alignment to fear. Your alignment to fear has informed your understanding and beliefs about all that you see and don't see. Through the eyes of fear, your vision has rested upon a world that you believe is out to get you. You see the bad and deny the light. Fear, in fact, is the denial of God. Fear says that God is not. And through fear, you believe that you are other than God. We know that by teaching you the truth, you may reclaim your divinity and thereby express love in the highest form you can to the betterment and upliftment of all. When you know yourself as divine, you begin to turn away from fear. You choose again. Fear falls from the throne you have placed it on, and Christ takes its rightful place. The truth of you is Christ, though we do not condemn your choices made in fear. We simply gift you with another view, that you may know the choice before you with every thought, word, and deed. The truth of you The truth of your fellows has no desire for harm because it has no fear. When we say you are perfect, we are speaking to the truth of you, the Christ, the you who chooses love in the face of fear. The you who knows yourself as perfect, sees perfection in all things, sees through the eyes of Christ. That you is the light of the world. Once you see it in you, you must also see it in your brother and all that comes before you. All is perfect through its service. Look to how it serves to realize the truth of divinity in it. Okay. So it is difficult as a human for us to have experiences that feel very unpleasant or that challenge us, that grow us, I would say. And sometimes it's really hard to see God in it, right? I did put a video out called The Perfect Purposefulness of Trauma, I believe, or traumatic experience. Because in my life, the experiences that I have had in this lifetime, I can look back at them and I can say thank you. I can say thank you for the things that have occurred that someone else would deny God in, okay? I can say thank you because I see how it has served me. I see how it has allowed my growth. It has given opportunity for me to expand, for me to become more loving. And through becoming more loving and accepting of the life that has been given me, I have allowed Christ to become me more fully. I have allowed the truth of me to come into form, through this form, to express in these ways. I once made this statement to someone that once you've been to hell, you no longer fear anything, okay? I have had certain experiences that were extremely difficult, that they are occurrences that in our world will cause to define a human in guilt and in shame, in great self-judgment. And for some they never come back from that. For some, they do not allow themselves to claim the truth of divinity for them. So today I can say thank you to those experiences because they allowed me the opportunity, the path was before me to expand, to travel, to grow, to learn, to heal, really to heal. And it was through the healing of those traumatic experiences that I was able to accept the truth of my own perfection, of my own divinity. And because I was able to claim the truth of my own divinity, I can claim the truth of the divinity of you and everyone else. I can claim the perfection of you and everyone else and everything else because I have accepted it for myself. It was not an easy path. It was not an easy journey. It was not easy. And from the level of spirit, we would say it is the simplest path, the path of truth. But because in the world we have been so conditioned through fear, fear has been our God. And through fear, we have learned everything and seen everything in that light, or in that shadow, more to say, the shadow of fear has informed everything. And this idea is complicated because we are not aware of the magnitude of influence that this has had over our reality. The reality of the human experience has been molded through that lens of fear. The mold has been of fear, and all things that came from the mold have been of fear. And fear is the denial of God. God is still in everything. Without the power of God, without the love of God, nothing is. Nothing is. And so, if God is, then it all must be God, you see. When you deny God in a thing, you deny that God is at all. So, and then when you deny God in anything, you deny God in you. You know, we have been taught through fear to place labels and categories and what is and what is not. And through this, what we call duality, through the experience of duality or polarity, of light and dark, of good and evil. And the truth of it is, that's what makes our world an illusion. You know, we talk about, A Course in Miracles talks about separation from God, and that we believe we are separate from God, and this is what causes our suffering. That is true. Understand, all of these things mean the same thing. You know, it's which words appeal to you, because it is all the same message, just delivered in a slightly different way. Jesus said, "If you have seen me, you have seen my Father also." And this is what I'm speaking about. It is the perfection. And we have been taught that Jesus was something other than we are, and that's not true. That's not true. And he said, "Have I not told you, you are gods? Have I not told you, greater things shall you do? Greater things shall you do." In these, thankfully, these teachings of Christ through Jesus, some of them were salvaged and we were able to know them. If we hearken to the teachings of Jesus, if we hearken to the teachings of Jesus fully, we can know truth. We can know that the Christ is us, all of us. The Christ is all of us. We also accept and understand that the potential is there for us to choose in fear. And the one who chooses in fear is not the Christ. The Christ is the choice of love in the face of fear, as this message said. So we don't judge and we don't condemn when we see that a choice is being made in fear. And it is challenging to have one foot in the world and one foot in the divine. It is difficult, particularly in this experience, because it has been so grossly overshadowed by the distortion of love that is called fear. So this message is just to say, when someone commits an act in fear, whether it be murder, whether it be robbery, whether it be whatever the abuse might be, that is no different than the lie that you told yesterday because you were afraid of being looked at in a certain way, or afraid of losing a friend, or whatever. It is still a choice made in fear. We have come to see these things as different or separate from each other, but they're not. It is all the same. I have another video on here about the faces of fear. Fear takes many faces. It takes on many masks, but it is all fear. And we have been taught that it is okay to chastise and condemn certain acts of fear, while we are taught to exalt and even to see as righteous others. The world is upside down in this way. The world is upside down. And so that's what this message is about. It is about saying that when they say we are perfect, it is because the truth of us is. That is the truth of us. When we are standing in the light of Christ, in the light of love, we are perfect. We always have the choice, and that's what free will is. We have the choice to choose in denial of our truth, to choose in the lie that we are not that. And when we know another has done that, okay, they're asking me to speak to this, right? When someone commits an act of harm against another, we do have an obligation in our world to do all that we can to see that that does not persist, okay? Now, that doesn't mean that we murder in response to murder, okay? Two wrongs don't make a right. We don't murder because someone has committed that act. We are still challenged to find the way to extend love while at the same time protecting others from harm, okay? When many years ago, and it still is, we're threatened with the idea of war daily, and the men and women who have bravely fought in these wars because they believed with all of their heart and soul that they were doing the right thing, they too were brought up and raised in an environment of fear. And feeling that there was a threat, a real threat from someone else, through that belief of needing to take on arms against another to protect, okay? All of these things come from the same place. So you can see in that how fear is a distortion of love. Their love for their country, their love for their families, their love for their ways of life was used to justify, to validate the taking up of arms against others. Okay, there has been a grand manipulation here. There has been a huge manipulation here. Because the ones we took up arms against were told that we were the threat, that we were the ones who wanted to do them harm. And by that, they took up arms. You see, there has been a great manipulation here. The one who murders does so out of fear. Once we get to the place where fear is no longer our God or the God of our brothers, our sisters, our neighbors, those across an ocean, these things just will not be. They will not be here. It will not exist. Because at the level of love, fear does not express. God gives all things. God gives all things. Everything is made available to us. Everything is made available to us. Even hatred, even anger, even crucifixion. It is made available to us by the love of God. Because God, in its infinite knowing, realizes that we will attract to us the teachers of our choice, whether it be war, whether it be fear, whether it be pain, disease. We will call to ourselves or align to that which we choose as our teacher until we no longer need it, until we have graduated, in a sense, to a level where the teachers we choose are different. May we choose the teacher of love. May we choose to learn in a new way. May we choose to see the divine in all things. May we choose to see the truth that comes at the cost of the old, which only means that the truth comes at the cost of what you have believed to be true that really wasn't. The things that you want to be true because it feels comfortable. The things that you want to be true because it makes you better than someone else. There was a time when it was very difficult for me I was not willing for a time to see myself as equal to someone that I did not like, someone that I absolutely, what is the word? Not hated, but hated. Yeah, it was pretty strong, you know. There was a time when I didn't want to see myself as the same or as equal to the person that I hated, who did things that I believed they were doing them just to cause me grief and agitation, right? When the truth of it is, they were reacting from a place of fear. They were reacting from a place of lack. They believed I had something that was theirs or they wanted, you know? They believed I had taken something from them, and none of that was true. And now I can look back at those things and say, oh my gosh, I see, I took it personally. And it wasn't. It was never about me. It was always about where they were in their journey, where they were in their understanding of themselves, where they were in their alignments, you know? So I can speak these messages because I have learned myself, and the messages that these teachings convey, I know to be the truth. Because, you know, even then, I could not stay in that place. I could not stay that one that was not willing to see the perfection and the divinity in my sister, in my brother. I still chose to move forward. I still chose to continue. I basically said, Father, Mother, God, I want to see the truth. I want the truth. Above all things, I want the truth. I want to know the truth. I want to see the truth. I want to speak the truth. I choose to be the truth. I will to be the truth. And it was not easy to break the chains of the indoctrination. in lack and smallness and fear. It wasn't easy. Even when my child stopped talking to me or allowing me to be a part of her life. Even in that, I was not able to deny the truth. So it is not always easy to do the right thing. It is not always easy. I just said to someone just yesterday, I quoted one of the apostles, and I couldn't remember which one. It doesn't matter. The quote is, "I die daily." Every day, I am shown aspects of myself that are still denying God, that are still in judgment, that are still believing in lack and smallness. Aspects of myself that are still participatory or perpetrating the harms in our world. They are more subtle. They are more subtle than some of what is seen out there. But fear is fear. Fear is fear. May we align to love. May we elevate. I was going to say elevate ourselves, but you know what? That's not right. What is right is, may we accept and allow the truth. There's nothing for us to do except. The only thing there is for us to do is accept the truth. We are the children of God. God is all that we see. May we be still and know. May we accept that there is only God. There is only God. And peace and love. May you be blessed.